of Indian football journalists throughout the years, and he's here to talk on another iconic figure, Bhombolda himself, Subhas Bhowmick. Jaydeep sir, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking out your valuable time to speak on a man who was a mythical figure in Calcutta and Indian football, if I was to say that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to talk on a man like Subhas Bhowmick, who sadly passed away today. But I think his legacy will remain in Indian football as long the Indian football is there.
And just speaking about Bhomolda, you said he started his career. You had written this today. He started his career at a club called Rajasthan Club. Is that right? How did he end up there?
No, he didn't start his career in Rajasthan. I didn't write it today. I wrote he was playing for
Playing
Rajasthan.
for Rajasthan Club. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
he started his career in 1967.
Mm,
He matlab, he had been playing school football. He was one of the best school footballers in Calcutta. He came down from North Calcutta, North Bengal,
mm,
and was playing in a Calcutta school. And he played so well that Anand Bazar Patrika carried his feature on him,
mm,
that a young player coming up.
mm,
So in 1967, he played for a Sporting Union club. From Sporting Union, 67, 68, he joined Rajasthan club. And in 69, he was picked up by uh, uh, East Bengal. 69, he played for East Bengal. 70, 71, 72, 3 years, then Mohun Bagan. Then 73, 74, and 75 for East Bengal again.
mm.
Then 76, 77, and 78 for Mohun Bagan again. And then 79 East Bengal for a brief period. And that was the end of his career, I think.
And for a man like him, he was obviously he had three stints with East Bengal and two with Mohun Bagan, right? So
For
he
I
had three stints with East Bengal and two with Mohun Bagan, right?
three seasons.
Three stints, three phases of his career.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
So, how is it that he at a time when there was a lot of what do you say, protectionism about players moving from one Calcutta club to the other. How was he? He was. How did he switch? Or he was so much in demand that he was asked to move clubs that often.
See, first of all, switching club was nothing new in Calcutta those days.
Hmm.
Players used to switch clubs very often.
Hmm.
Very often they used to
Hmm.
switch clubs.
Hmm.
And it was amateur football on paper,
Hmm.
but players were being paid not what the kind of money what players of these days are getting. Not
Hmm.
that, but according to standard of those days, they were getting uh,
Hmm.
reasonable money. Actually, on since we are talking on this, I remember when in 76 when he joined East Bengal,
Hmm.
Mohun Bagan from East Bengal, I think his payment was 40,000 per annum or something like that,
Okay.
and which made a huge news.
Hmm.
Everybody was aghast. Oh, a footballer getting 40,000 for playing and all this thing, whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
See, he, as you said, how did he switch?
Hmm.
See, 69
Hmm.
he played in East Bengal. That was his first year in East Bengal.
Hmm.
But he did well for East Bengal, especially at the end of the season when,
Hmm.
see, East Bengal lost the Calcutta League. East Bengal lost the IFA Shield final to Mohun Bagan. They could not do well in Durand Cup. So East Bengal was in a bit of trouble at that time. But then they went to play the Rovers Cup. In the Rovers Cup, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan again played the final.
Hmm.
East Bengal won 3-0 with
Hmm.
Bhowmick scoring twice in
Hmm.
that match. He scored 2 goals in that match.
Okay.
So that was a bit of turning point.
Hmm.
So next year he moved to East Mohun Bagan. I think he was in, as you said, he was in demand at that time. So I think they paid him more money, must be.
Hmm.
Or there could be another reason. His friend Sukallan Ghosdastidar was also playing for Mohun Bagan at that
Hmm.
point.
Right.
So they were long time friends from their North Bengal days. They
Hmm.
played for Bengal school together also. and Bengal were champion. I think that was 66 or 67. Bengal were champions.
Hmm.
Both of them did very well in that
Hmm.
tournament.
Hmm.
So, and also junior nationals. I
Hmm.
think in the BC Roy Trophy, Bengal were champions. I
Hmm.
think 2 years in a row champions, and then Bhowmick played very well in both the years, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So 71, 72, he suffered an injury.
Hmm.
I think he has a ligament tear or something like that at that point of time. So
Hmm.
then Mohun Bagan was losing all the matches.
Hmm.
East Bengal won the triple crown. Mohun Bagan was in trouble. So he
Hmm.
was literally thrown out of Mohun Bagan. He was
Yes.
asked to leave.
Hmm.
They said we are not going to renew your contract.
Okay.
Everybody in the Maidan said, "Oh, he's a finished player because he had a ligament."
Hmm. Hmm.
So 73, at that point of time, he was on the verge of leaving football. He
Hmm.
himself told me that I
Hmm.
was thinking either to commit suicide or to leave football.
Okay.
Uh, uh, I was in such dire stress at that point of time.
Hmm. Hmm.
But but PK Banerjee caught hold of him and said, "You come to East Bengal, I will make you a player again. You
Hmm.
will again be a great player."
Hmm.
So he moved on to East Bengal,
Hmm.
and it happened to be 73 was perhaps his finest year in his football career. He was the top scorer in Calcutta League with
Hmm.
24 goals,
Hmm.
and he beat East Bengal beat Mohun Bagan almost wherever they met.
Hmm.
I think he scored in the league. I think he scored in the Super League. I think
Hmm.
he scored in the official fine. I do see. I'm talking from memory, so I get
Okay.
some.
That's okay. That's okay, sir.
So he was in great form in 73.
Hmm.
So 73, 74, 75. He
Hmm.
was a roaring success for East
Hmm.
Bengal.
Yes.
Roaring success. And at
Yes.
that point of time, East Bengal were winning almost every trophy in the country. All
Yes.
over the country they were winning.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So 75, East Bengal won their, I think, Calcutta League six times in a row.
Yes.
Starting from 1970, they won it 6 times in a row in
Hmm.
1975.
Hmm.
So Mohun Bagan was in deep trouble. For
Yes.
6 years, you don't win a trophy,
Yes.
only here and there, and you don't win the local league for 6 years.
Yes.
So in 76, uh,
Hmm.
Mohun Bagan decided to make a
Hmm.
strong team.
Hmm.
So they recruited a lot of players,
Hmm.
and Bhowmick was one of them.
Okay.
And PK Banerjee also shifted to East Bengal to Mohun Bagan.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
75 is
East
also the
Bengal did
year
well.
when 75, sir, is also the year when East Bengal defeated Mohun Bagan 5-0, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yes.
was Bombolda part of that team?
Yeah. He was very much actually
Hmm.
he was the best player in the on ground,
Hmm.
though he did not score any goal in that 5 goals.
Hmm.
The five
Hmm.
goals I think came two from Sham Thapa, one from Surajit Sengupta,
Huh.
one from Ranjit Mukherjee, one from Subhankar Sanyal.
Hmm.
They scored the 5 goals. But
Hmm.
Bhowmick was the star of
Hmm.
that particular match.
Hmm.
And what happened?
Hmm.
He was initiating all the attacks, and
Hmm.
after 3 goals, he
Hmm.
was waving his hands like this to his midfielders and forwards to come up and score. So that made him very unpopular with Mohun Bagan fans,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
many years later also Mohun Bagan fans used to say कि अरे इसने तो बुला बुला के गोल मारा था हमारे ऊपर. Uh, so,
Hmm.
but yeah, he was a. But again, Mohun Bagan fans, what they fail to remember that
Hmm.
he had won some great matches for Mohun Bagan when he played for Mohun Bagan.
Hmm. Hmm. And you also called him the third best forward ever. I think that is what you had written, right? After
See, I
PK.
have not written third best forward. I
Huh,
have
okay.
written
Huh, okay.
who third best forward to be
Hmm.
produced from the stable of Calcutta football.
Calcutta. Ha. Correct.
See, there were players like Venkatesh or Amit Khan or Saleh or
Hmm.
Dhanraj or
Hmm.
Mohammad Habib, and in the much later years,
Hmm.
Xavier Pius,
Hmm.
everybody.
Hmm.
But they came from
Hmm.
other states to
Hmm.
play in Cal. They were
Hmm.
recruited by clubs to play for them.
Hmm.
They were also great forwards.
Hmm.
But people like Chuni Goswami and PK Banerjee, they grew up with Calcutta football.
Hmm. Hmm.
They did not come from others. PK Banerjee, of course, came from another state. He came from Bihar. But
Hmm.
when he came, he was hardly playing.
Hmm.
He never played club football before coming to
Correct.
Calcutta.
Correct.
So he is a product of Calcutta football.
Hmm. Hmm.
So is Subhas Bhowmick.
Hmm.
He was a product of Calcutta football.
Hmm.
So I think after that way, though, Balaram was a great player.
Ha.
Amit Khan was a great player.
Hmm.
Venkatesh was a great player.
Hmm.
Uh, what I mean to say is that no local forward had succeeded
Hmm.
like Subhas Bhowmick except
Hmm.
PK Banerjee
And Chudi Goswami.
Chuni Goswami. And let me add one more thing.
Hmm.
What I have written is strictly on
Hmm.
the basis of performance at the international level.
Correct.
See, Subhas Bhowmick, we can discuss hours on Subhas Bhowmick's matches, great
Hmm.
matches in domestic football.
Hmm.
But that there are several other players I can discuss about.
Hmm.
But Subhas Bhowmick, the man, should be remembered for his achievement at the international level. He
Correct.
was a footballer of international class.
Hmm.
We rarely have a footballer of international class.
Correct.
There are two sets of players.
Hmm.
One set who do very well in domestic football,
Hmm.
and they will do over the years, or season after season, they will keep on doing well at the domestic football.
Hmm.
If you take them to the next level, that is at
Hmm.
the international football,
Hmm.
sometimes they are all at sea, or
Hmm.
sometimes they don't perform to the level they are expected to.
Hmm.
But it didn't happen. Didn't happen with a very few, a handful of Indian footballers over the years.
Hmm.
They also performed at the same pace, at the same level at the
Hmm.
international level.
Hmm.
Subhas Bhowmick was one of them.
Correct. And why did he retire before 30? You said he retired pretty early on. Like he retired at 29, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe 30, maybe 30,
Maybe 30. Yes.
maybe
Okay.
30.
Huh. But why did he retire at that age? He clearly had a few years left in him, right?
See, he had few tips with the coaches, I think.
Yes,
He
you
had
were
a few
telling that.
tips with Arun Ghosh at one point of time, or
Huh.
whatever. That is the reason. And
Hmm.
this is also, and it is also true
Hmm.
that by 77,
Hmm.
by 77, he had lost lot of his speech.
Base. Hmm.
He was no more a pace. He was no
Hmm.
more a player
Hmm.
which he used to be there that time. But
Hmm.
in 78 also he played very well for Mohun Bagan.
Hmm.
There is no doubt about that.
Hmm.
But I think in by 79 he
Hmm.
realized
Hmm.
on his own
Hmm.
that he has lost some of his key factors in his game,
Hmm.
which so without that it may not be possible for him to do well as well as he did in the earlier years. So
Correct.
that could be one of the reasons. I'm
Correct.
not sure.
Okay.
Whenever I asked him, he always told me that he was pissed off with the coaches, and
Hmm.
also he told me that he was losing his interest in the game.
Hmm.
After 12, 13 years, he was day in day out practice,
Hmm.
coming to the ground at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
All these things perhaps
Hmm.
he was slowly losing interest.
Hmm.
That could
Hmm.
be one of the
Ha.
reasons.
Coming to Bhowmick, the coach, right? What innovation would you say he bought? Because Amal Datta, we know he bought the diamond into Indian football. What innovation did Subhash Bhowmick bring into Indian football as a coach?
See, tactically, if you ask me,
Hmm.
then I will say I'm not competent enough to answer this question,
Okay.
because that is one reason. Because there could be a lot of intricacies which I don't understand, or
Hmm.
I didn't understand.
Hmm.
So I should not be making a statement, rather sweeping statement on his coaching career.
Okay.
But the thing is that what he in my simple eyes, what I thought, what he has made an impact is that he
Hmm.
brought confidence among the players.
Hmm.
That is the one thing, and he was a
Hmm.
brilliant manager,
Hmm.
and he was very lucky to have a good team.
Yes.
That is the thing. If
Yes.
you look at 2002, 2003 East Bengal team, if you have Baichung Bhuti and Mike Okoro in the front line,
Hmm.
and what you say, Mahesh Gowli in the defense,
Defense.
and if you have what you call it, Alberto Ducuna
Dukonia.
doing so well, then I think it made his job easier
Easier.
because
Hmm.
when he went to East Bengal in 2010-11, we did not see the same result for him.
Hmm.
From
Right.
when he became Mohammedan sporting coach in 2008-9 or something like that,
Hmm.
he was
Hmm.
he could produce very little result from that.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
coaches are always as good as their players.
Yes. Hmm.
So it happened in Mr. Bhowmick's case also.
Hmm.
But Subhash Babu's main thing was Subhash Babu could instill confidence among the players.
Hmm.
He himself was a huge player.
Hmm.
That was one thing was his advantage because his players knew that
Hmm.
he had achieved
Hmm.
himself what he is
Hmm.
asking the players to achieve.
Hmm. And just curiously, just wanted to know, you spoke about his stint at Mohammedan, but he came back to Churchill as technical director because he did not have the license, I'm assuming, to be the coach. So, uh, so he had some fight left in him even when he went to Churchill, and then again they won the title, right? And is it incorrect to say that Subhash Bhowmick was again the main man at Churchill Brothers when they won the title?
Yeah, he did a good job in Churchill
Hmm.
because all of us know it is very difficult to do well in Churchill.
Hmm.
Sometimes there are allegations coaches are never allowed to work independently and all. I'm not sure whether allegations are true or not, but there are rumors in the market like that. You also know, I also know about
Hmm.
it. But the thing is that he had some good players, and I think one of the reasons was
Hmm.
see, again, I'm not casting aspersion,
Hmm.
but Sunil Chetri coming back to the team
Hmm.
also helped Churchill a lot,
Hmm.
which Subhash Babu himself admitted to me many a
Hmm.
times
Hmm.
that Sunil was a role model. I think he came back from Portugal.
Hmm.
The way he carried himself, the way
Hmm.
he was an example for the team.
Hmm. Right.
But Subhash Babu again kept a very tight leash on all the players,
Hmm.
made them very disciplined,
Hmm.
and he played according to his plan. See, he was a very clever coach.
Hmm.
If you have played so much of football,
Hmm.
having played so much of football, he knew the domestic football in and out.
Hmm.
He knew it domestic football in, and he knew the what to say, the
Hmm.
strength and weaknesses of his players. Not only strength
Hmm.
and weakness of his players, but
Hmm.
also the players of the opposing team.
Hmm.
Because I remember the day, I think the day they became champion, I was in a day
Hmm.
before, or I think a day before or something. I was in Mumbai for some IPL match, so
Hmm.
I was talking to him on phone in Goa.
Hmm. Hmm.
That point of time only he told me
Hmm.
that see, I have analyzed the strength and weaknesses of all the players, not only of my team but of the
Hmm.
other teams also. And
Hmm.
this could be my this could if I can do matlab,
Hmm.
work it my way, then it can be in my advantage. That's what he said.
Hmm. Okay. And just on that note, who was his favorite players to work with? You said Sunil obviously made a big difference, and he had the likes of Baichung, Raman Vijayan, Alvito Di Cunha, Sule Musa, Okoro. All of these players he had managed in his time. Who would you say was among his he and you had many conversations with him, so that there were some players that he may have liked to manage more than some other. So who were some of these players?
See, he never pointed out any particular player in that way because I never asked
Okay.
him what you are
Okay.
asking me. I
Okay.
never had
Okay.
an opportunity to ask him, or it slipped my mind. I did never
Okay.
asked him it that way.
Okay.
But I remember he had a lot of respect for Sunil Chetri.
Hmm.
Huh. He likes the way that he always liked the way Sunil Chetri conducted himself, the way Sunil Chetri carried himself, his
Hmm.
discipline, his attitude towards the game, everything he liked a lot.
Hmm.
And and if you ask me if he had real weakness for one player in his career,
Hmm.
real weakness, one
Hmm.
Indian player, it
Hmm.
was Tushar Rakshit.
Hmm. Okay.
He had huge weakness for that player,
Hmm.
and he considered him a gem of a midfielder, and he
Hmm.
think that he was instrumental behind many of his fine victories.
Hmm.
Like in the Durand final, when they were playing against,
Hmm. Hmm.
they were playing against, I think, Army 11 in the final,
Hmm.
and it was goalless at the halftime. He brought
Hmm.
in Tushar Rakshit in the second half.
Hmm.
So and
Hmm.
Tushar's
Hmm. Hmm.
long through pass, and Mike Okoro came up with a terrific volley for the first goal, and then East Bengal went on to win by three
Hmm.
goals, if I'm
Hmm.
not wrong, by
Hmm.
three goals. I remember when in the evening in the hotel,
Hmm.
the night in the hotel, I was having dinner with him, and
Hmm.
I told him that Tushar did so well. He started laughing. He says, I kept him for the halftime only. He says, he used a Bengali word. He said,
Hmm.
he is my Madhusudhan Dadar Bhando. Means he is my man in need.
Man in need.
Friday
Yes.
rather. So
Man Friday.
it was well
Uh,
planned, he said.
yes. 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 So, just some quick fire now. I want to say one game of Subhash Bhowmick that you would remember as a player at the international level.
See, I have not seen his international matches,
Okay.
frankly speaking.
Hmm.
So I cannot give you an eyewitness account, but I think his best international match,
Hmm.
a lot of people will say his hat trick against Philippines
Hmm.
in the Mardeka tournament.
Not again.
But I think his best international match
Hmm.
was the 1970 Asian Games match against Thailand. It was raining.
Hmm.
It was the opening day
Hmm.
of the tournament, and
Hmm.
India were as bad luck could be. India were pitted against Thailand, the host team,
Hmm.
and it was the opening day of the game or Asian
Hmm.
Games. So
Hmm.
there were 60,000 spectators, and it was drizzling till the start of the match. The
Hmm.
ground was very slippery. By half an hour, India were down by 2 goals,
Hmm.
and everybody in the Indian camp was livid. Actually, I believe the Air Marshal Arjun Singh, who was the chef de mission of the Indian contingent. He was very upset
Hmm.
that the football team is doing very badly. But Mohammad Habib and Subhas
Bomb.
Bhowmick
Hmm.
did a wonderful job in that match, and Bhowmick scored 2 goals. So
Hmm.
India snatched a point out of the host in the very first match. Then India went on to beat, I think, Indonesia 4-1 or something, and they reached the semi-finals and won the bronze medal finally. So I think that had that match been lost,
Hmm.
then it would have been over for India. India would have
Hmm.
never won the medal.
Hmm. Okay.
But Bhowmick made it possible for India. He
Hmm.
did a wonderful job. It's
Hmm.
it's a it's a it's one of the rare occasions when a Indian player doing so well for the national team, when
Hmm.
the team is down by at least 2 goals.
Okay. And one memory that you have of him in all your interaction with him that really, it's the first memory of him that comes to you.
See, first memory of him comes to me
Hmm.
not as an interaction.
Hmm.
Interaction, I had hundreds of interactions with him,
Hmm.
hundreds of. I was not as an interaction, but
Hmm.
I have an image in mind.
Hmm.
That was 1975
Hmm.
DCM tournament.
Hmm.
East Bengal were playing. I was in school. East Bengal were playing Tata Sports Club in the DCM quarterfinal league,
Hmm.
which East Bengal won 5-1 in that match.
Hmm.
I think Shamda scored 2 goals. Ranjit Thapa scored a goal. Ranjit Mukherjee scored a goal. Something like that. I don't remember.
Hmm.
But I remember Subhas Bhowmick
Hmm.
taking the ball on the right, then
Hmm.
then dashing his way through the defense. He
Hmm.
just shouldered through the defense, three defenders,
Hmm.
and then took a right foot. It was a bullet-like shot.
Hmm.
It landed at the corner of the net with Bandia, India
Hmm.
goalkeeper at that point.
Hmm.
Not at that time, but he had played for India.
Hmm.
Bandia was stranded under the
Hmm.
Tata bar. It
Hmm.
was a superb goal, and
Hmm.
it. I always remember that goal because it signifies
Hmm.
is symbolic of Subhas Bhowmick's character
Hmm.
and Subhas Bhowmick as a footballer.
Hmm.
See, I have written, Subhas Bhowmick was not a greatly skillful player.
Hmm.
He didn't have a great dribble in his legs, or
Hmm.
he was definitely not a great passer of the ball.
Hmm.
but he has terrific speed,
Hmm.
massive shoulder pushes. He could dash his way through. He could cut in,
Hmm.
and one more thing which he was fearless. Maybe
Yes.
that is because of his physical strength.
Hmm.
Physical strength was extraordinary.
Hmm.
Indian players rarely have such physical
Zero
strength.
strength.
That
Yes.
could be one of the reasons.
Yes.
So that is one image. It always comes to my mind
Right.
whenever I think of him.
And um, because we said we would wrap it up in about 20 to 25 minutes, I'll let you go now. But one last word on Subhash Bhowmick, sir. Anything that you want to tell our viewers, because I mean, very few of this generation knew Bhomolda as you did. So, one thing that you want all our viewers to know about him.
I would say
Hmm.
I would like to say that not the present generation. I am not here to lecture any generation for that matter. It is for them to decide what they want to do and what they want to watch. But I
Hmm.
would say to look at Subhas Bhowmick, it would be better to look at him as a footballer than a coach. He was. If you ask, if I always used to tell him that if somebody asked me to write 100 lines on you, I will 90 lines from my pen will be on you as on footballer Subhas Bhowmick,
Okay.
which he never liked. He always thought he always said you underestimate me as a coach, but I am also a good coach. I said I'm not denying that, but as a footballer, I would like to tell the viewers
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
was a great footballer of India, and
Hmm.
it is very very unfortunate that he is a medal winner. He
Hmm.
had been he had played for India for many years.
Hmm.
He had been a national coach for at least one tournament.
Hmm.
He has ticked all the required boxes.
Hmm.
But still, when I started watching
Hmm.
mm, uh, the Chennai versus which match today? The Chennai versus uh,
Northeast.
huh?
No.
Northeast match
Northeast.
today. Huh.
Hmm.
Nobody could spare a time to observe a minute silence for
With
him,
silence. Yes.
which was very sad. I thought
It is.
because if
Hmm.
Bhowmick is over, Bhowmick is gone. He's not going to there to see it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's a not it's a see. I don't want to.
Hmm.
It's a harsh word, but I
Hmm.
thought it's an insult to Indian football and its achievements.
It is. It is. And just on that note, and like Jaydeep said, we lost stalwart of Indian football legend, uh, and with Novi Kapade also passing, earlier this season, it's a season of great losses for Indian football. I would say two absolute behemoths of the modern game. And thank you, Jaydeep. This was very nostalgic walk down memory lane for somebody who started watching Subhash Bhowmick as a coach, not as a player. Somebody who watched his 2003-4 East Bengal team take everybody on in the ASEAN Cup to every other tournament. And for me, this was a great insight. As a player, like you said, I only heard stories, but this was a great account by you. I can't thank you enough for taking time out to do this.
Thank you all of you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Orko.
Thank you. And see you. And please subscribe to the away end. And please follow Jaydeep Da. He's written a wonderful piece for NewsClick today. And he writes a lot of history pieces. Please follow him on Twitter. Please follow his writing. The younger generation of journalists, please, you could learn a lot of things from Jaydeep Da. And I hope to interact with him again. And thank you.